The waterfall is on and it is glorious. Oh man, the day has arrived. I've got the electrical going in to wire up the pump, the 3-phase 230 volt converter to run a pump at a variable speed to adjust the flow. And without fail during this project, it always seems like the days the most exciting things happen at the pond, I'm stuck at work, and so my father-in-law Jeff is capturing all of the details here, getting all the plumbing set in place. Andrew and Jackson are back after building the waterfall last year to get all the PVC cut properly. The fish are excited about it too. But here, just getting all the plumbing set with the check valve on the intake here down into those reservoirs, down into the aqua blocks. That's where the water's all going to get sucked up into and pumped up the hill. And here he's priming the pump, backfilling it so that you can turn the pump on. And here up at the head of the waterfall, getting the outflow positioned properly into the reservoir at the top. There's aqua blocks that are buried underneath the rocks here, and we've got a video detailing the entire construction of the waterfall that you can check out right here. But here we're ready to turn the thing on for the first time.
There it is. There it is.
I'm gonna turn my back on it. Take them out.
But it was right about here that the excitement waned a little bit, because the flow should be more than this. So there was a little worry. It's like, did we build this whole thing and this is going to be all that it is? And so after a little bit of thinking, troubleshooting, going down to the bottom where the intake bay was, wondering if maybe some muck and sludge got lodged into the pipes, but kind of reminds me of Dumb and Dumber. I thought the Rocky Mountains would be a little rockier than this, and I thought the waterfall would be a little bit more majestic than this. Kind of anticlimactic. But after going down to the intake bay and sucking out some sludge and pulling out some debris in case that was the issue, it actually turned out that the electrical connections to the pump were wired backwards. And so after remedying that, here we go.
Oh, that's different.
So the way the waterfall is built is that there's a big reservoir with aqua blocks that are buried underneath these rocks. And so that needs to fill up first to create the pool. And once that happens, the water starts spilling down, filling each pool a little bit at a time. Now, I could fast forward and jump cut, make it a little bit more viewer friendly and appealing to the YouTube algorithm, but I've teased this thing starting up for over a year now in previous videos, so I'm not going to deprive you of the experience of getting to see the whole thing fill up as it goes. So just sit back and enjoy. Now as I watch this all fill up, it takes me back to where each of these stones were put in place, During the design process, having to visualize how the water would spill off of each rock, and now to see that all happen after all of this work was done. And I want to take a moment and thank Andrew and Jackson, as they were instrumental in placing each of these rocks throughout the process last year, and now to be able to be here on the day it gets turned on. I'm sure that that's super satisfying, probably the best day of the year, when they too get to see the waterfall get turned on. It's not just for the homeowner, but I'm sure they've got to feel a lot of pride in their hard work as well. So while this waterfall is filling up, I just wanted to take a minute and say thanks guys for watching. It means a lot. This is about 2 years into our pond build journey and also my YouTube journey. And in different ways, they've both been challenging, rewarding, and humbling. And here within the last month, I've achieved YouTube partner status, which means that I have acquired 1,000 or more subscribers. So thank you if you've subscribed. And if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe. We're doing cool things here at the pond. And 4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days. Those are public watch hours, and that was the most difficult for me to achieve. But finally, thanks for your viewership. I've reached that status, and now I get a few bucks for ad placement that you've been watching this whole time anyway. Now I can put some more money back into the pond. So I just wanted to say thanks for watching. Go ahead and like the video. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. And if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe so you can see all the fun things we have in store. So at this corner where the corrugated black pipe is, the well pump hose actually feeds into that, and we had been running that all the way down to the pond edge, but now that the waterfall is fully turned on, we'll just run the well water when we need to supplement water right into the waterfall. That way the well water that's devoid of oxygen, because it's getting pulled up from 350 feet below the surface, now it'll enter into the pond via the waterfall and get oxygenated on the way down. Now one downside of the waterfall is that so much more of the water is going to be exposed to the air conditions, and in the heat of the summer we'll lose a lot more water to evaporation as it's spilling down the rocks. But in the grand scheme of things, that's a small price to pay once we've seen this thing in action now.
My waders on still. Huh? We get a good video from the bottom.
We need to go get one of our low rates and should have. I didn't think about it. Blowing those leaves out of there would have been a good idea.
Yeah.
I assume they're all going to end up down there eventually.
The way the water falls off of each individual rock uniquely is super cool to see. We've already started talking about naming each individual waterfall just for fun. You'll notice on the right side here, the mice are getting evicted from their homes. I love it. So in editing this video and looking at the timestamps, it took the water 7 minutes from the time it was first started at the top until it reached the bottom here. And so 7 minutes to go the full cycle. As I watch this back now, I can see the muddy water, the water washing off the clay from the rocks. It's getting clearer and clearer as we go. You can see along the rocks here the black cord there for the landscape lights that are installed inside the pools and the waterfall to give a little ambiance and light at night. That'll be coming here soon. And now here's the first look that I got at the waterfall, and so you can enjoy it with me and my reaction as I got to see this for the first time.
Guys, the pump is primed and the waterfall in all of its glory. How cool is that? You could probably raise fish right in here.
And so I think it's good to pause. This was the first day we started digging, and to look back at what the gully looked like with the vision of where the waterfall would be, to now, almost 2 years later, to see this waterfall come to fruition.
Guys, the moment of truth. This water current right here this is going to be so inviting. This is awesome. All right, so this is the business end. Of the intake. And what I think is going to happen is that water is just going to get sucked into, well, of course it's getting sucked into here, but I think the water is going to get sucked in and algae and debris is going to get sucked into this intake, and we'll be able to just clean it all out from here. It's just going to be a gravitational pull here, and that'll help us keep the pond clean. They're gonna come back in here and we'll position some more boulders around this plumbing so it's a little bit more disguised into the landscape. But I would say that the exterior pump is not really that loud at all. It's not obnoxious. We've got, they buried two pipes. One's going to be a reserve pipe in the event of any kind of failure, which was smart thinking. Or in the future, if we decide that the water pressure isn't quite enough, we'll add another pump. And double the flow. It's always good to have options. And here's the power plant with a variable speed VHD or VFD.
Now, this electrical is not really my area of expertise, but if you're interested in the specifics of the pump and the electrical converter box, leave me a comment down below and I can get you all the specifics later.
We can turn the waterfall up and down variable speeds. Good to have options. Got all the electrical, enough to power the aerator and the 230 volt pump. A pretty decent flow here, which is exactly what I was hoping for. I mean, it extends out there a ways, and just a little bit of that current is gonna attract the walleyes and every other fish. So here's the headwaters of Granite Falls. Guys, it's so peaceful. My mother-in-law is out on the pedal boat. We've created an oasis. It's awesome to see the vision become a reality. It's more than just fish, and there's something about water that draws everybody in. And so if you're stopping by and you like water, you should give us a follow and draw you right in. Come on in, the water is fine.
So we're figuring out how to fly the drone here, and excuse the choppiness as we get a little bit smoother with some practice, but getting some different aerial photos of all the different areas of the pond coming soon, and an overhead of the waterfall. Guys, it's so great.
It just can't be any better until it greens up a little bit and we get some more plants and trees in here to really line the waterfall. But it's such a cool feature, way better than we had originally planned, and couldn't be more excited.
So here it is. The day has come, and I'm excited to see how the fish and the wildlife respond to the waterfall and just the new life that it brings. So go ahead, follow along, and we'll see you next time.